The common saying "water under the bridge" is used to describe a situation that is forgotten at the prevailing moment and consequently no longer regarded as important. The truth of this saying is evidenced in this bridge situated at one of the Nairobi's gateways in Westlands. This footbridge is home to a range of nationalities including Ethiopians, Somalis, Ugandans, Burundians, but the majority are Congolese. Under this bridge, there are mothers with children who know no other home but this place beside one of the busiest highways in Nairobi, the Waiyaki Way. After spending the night in the cold cuddling out to their mothers, in the morning they hit the streets to beg from passers-by to break their fast. Standing on top or anywhere around this bridge is metaphorical to being at a family's homestead. We are forced to cover some of the refugees' faces at their request for fears of falling out with the UNHCR's country's officials, who they say have been dehumanizing them. Bumugisha Didier is a Burundian refugee in Kenya and is lamenting on behalf of his ilk, who do not have the guts to raise their voices against the UNHCR officials in the country. He says despite being accorded the care and attention he deserves, the refugee agency in the country has mistreated them, including jailing them.
Nilikimbia vita kutoka huko Burundi kufika hapa Kenya, nikakimbilia UNHCR kuomba msaada.
I ran away from war in Burundi, and when I reached in Kenya, I approached UNHCR for help. But instead of getting help, UNHCR officials oppressed me. One of them is called Kakuma Refugee, who got me arrested, taken to Kileleshwa police station, then to court in Kibera, then to Nairobi West prison.
Inaitwa Nairobi West prison.
Didier says their efforts to approach the Kenyan government officials have been bottled up. According to Didier, the Kenyan government has far detached itself from meddling with their well-being, pointing to the UNHCR as their only source of help.
The officials pass here from the offices when they break for lunch or even for the day, and all they can do is sneer at us. They don't even help us in any way. When we go to the offices, they tell us that our help is the UNHCR. It makes me wonder where funds and donations offered by the organizations and UNHCR in Geneva go. These are young children here. Some are not even 1 year old or even 2 year old and are already sleeping in the cold with no food. Their mothers begging all the time.
This Somali woman, identity withheld, is pouring out her frustrations to me, telling of her trying moments, especially when the city experiences extreme weather conditions. Bearing in mind when the sky is open above Nairobi, not only rodents and reptiles are flushed out of the ground, but millions are left homeless owing to the floods. The refugees, whom some vow not to return to their home countries, say they are sick and tired of their situation in Kenya and would reconsider seeking refuge and asylum in other countries. My encounter with Alice Oji, a gospel musician from Nigeria, filled my heart with tears.
When we are discriminating among ourselves, when Africans are crying, we are united Africans. When this nationality hates this one, you discriminate against this one. You don't want Rwandese, you don't want Burundians, you don't want Congolese, you don't want Nigerians, you don't want Ugandans, you don't want nobody. Then why keeping them in their country and collecting money on their behalf? You take them to where they will be wanted, where they will be appreciated. You let them go to the countries that will know their value.
She cries for her talent and potential, which is slowly being drained in her exile. She is an asylum seeker running for her life.
UNHCR should stand up and help us. We need help. Christians need help, Muslims need help. It's not about religion, it's about individuality. It's about our life, the safety of our life. I'm a Christian, I'm a gospel singer. I can't go back home because I don't want to worship the idol. I don't want to worship Satan. I want to worship Jesus, and that's why I'm taking this risk to run for my dear life. Then my Christian homes, my Christian families, my Christian people all over the world are rejecting me. Why?
Abdullah Abubakar is also an asylum seeker in Kenya from the troubled Somalia. He is a victim of the terrorist group al-shabaab who murdered his entire family in cold blood. He renounced his Islamic faith to become a Christian. He is seeking asylum in Kenya from a community that are after his life in Somalia.
2016 amekutwa watoto ilikuwa inachukuliwa na nguvu na kazi ya al-shabaab.
In 2016, al-shabaab were abducting children and loaded on trucks, and I was one of them. They were teaching us on how to set and set off bombs, disassembling and assembling of guns. That is the training we were put into. We were also taught to pose as shoe shiners, but we had bombs ready for detonation with us. I refused all these and they threatened to slaughter me, so I ran for my life.
Kama wewe na brush fiatu na unakuweka bomb unaweka ingine na tuba bomb nini mimi nimekataa, nimesema siwezi kubali hii.
Abubakar, just like some of the refugees under this bridge, has gastric condition exhibited by this surgical scar on his belly. He only told me that living here, accessing medical care is next to impossible.
Ilikuwa nalala hapo muda mrefu sana 6 years hii barabarani.
I've slept here by the roadside for a very long time, 6 years. When I was told there is no help and been incarcerated 3 times by UNHCR, I decided to commit suicide. I took poison. I drank acid because there was no help to help me. Thanks God I didn't die because I was taken to hospital, courtesy of a Catholic priest.
Father Kilif kutoka America.
These people are now calling on any Kenyan, the society in entirety, and the international community to come to their rescue and bring them medication, food, clothes, and shelter. When I contacted the UNHCR for their comments, they responded through an email in which they denied all of the allegations leveled against their office by the refugees and asylum seekers, as I quote. Refugees in Kenya primarily reside in Kakuma and Dadaab camps. In the camps, refugees receive services including shelter, food, health, education, livelihood opportunities, and protection. The resources received are used to provide for these services in the camps. A few refugees and asylum seekers reside in the urban areas, including Nairobi. Residence in the urban is based on one's ability to sustain himself or herself. Those residing in the urban areas have attained a certain level of social and economic integration and are thus able to sustain themselves. A minority with specific needs receive limited support from UNHCR and partners.
This is the place that these refugees spend the nights outside under this bridge. As I was told by my friend Breeze from Congo Brazzaville, it was difficult in Kakuma Refugee Camp up North Kenya, and that's the reason why they decided to flee the camp and come to this city. But it was only from frying pan into the fire. Brian Itava, KUTV in Nairobi.